In 1997, Brighton and Hove Albion faced a very bleak future. Financially, the club were in ruin. On the pitch, they were about to drop out of League Two and were prepared to sell the ground that they'd played in since 1902. However, on the final day of the 96-97 season, Brighton stayed in the Football League, and 20 years later, the Seagulls have landed in the Premier League.
We're on the front page of The Sun, not the back page, the front page of The Sun. That is the miracle of us being 20 years ago we were 1 goal away from going into the amateur leagues, and now we're in the Premiership.
However, as you might have guessed, it hasn't been the easiest ride in getting there. There have been lots of ups and downs, and it's taken them 34 years to return to the top flight of English football. But it wasn't always this way. In 1983, Brighton actually got to the FA Cup final and played Manchester United, and were only 1 kick away from winning it, but Gordon Smith's shot was saved, and United went on to win the replay 4-0. And just 14 years later, after the final day heroics, Dick Knight took over the board that he helped force out to help save his local club, and this was around the time that Fatboy Slim and Skin also got involved.
At that time, the football team was completely skint and homeless, but we were moving back from Gillingham to Brighton, and it just seemed like a good time. And somehow, just a relationship formed with Dick Knight and us, where we were kind of proud of being a Brighton record label that was, internationally known, and we were also just proud of it. And it's quite funny, having Skin written on your shirt. I just got reined in by Dick Knight's charm. He's a very charming man, and one thing led to another, and my involvement got bigger and bigger.
So during Dick Knight's tenure, they bounced around the bottom 2 leagues of England and had to play 70 miles away in Gillingham before moving here to the Withdean. But in 2009, they sold up to Tony Bloom, who promised to invest £90 million into the club to help get Brighton back where they belong. And it only took him 2 years to see progress. In 2011, Gus Poyet's men were promoted into the Championship, and then that same season they moved into the Amex, just 6 years after finally gaining permission to move into the stadium.
For me, the bits I remember are things like taking petitions to Downing Street, lots of marching, lots of meeting Des Lynam every other weekend, just going, the Rent a Celebs are out again. But to be honest, it was everybody. It was the fact that nobody gave in. We were sort of being rallied by Dick Knight, but nobody gave up. Nobody gave up on the team. I remember somebody giving us some speech about what is a football team. Is it the ground? We haven't got a ground. Is it the players? We haven't got any players. We didn't have a manager, we didn't have any money. All we had was the name and the idea of a football team, and yet that was enough for us to keep the belief in it.
So in their first year back in the Championship, they finished 10th, and in 3 of the next 4 years they got into the playoffs, and last year they only didn't get promoted by 3 goals on goal difference. However, that didn't deter Chris Hughton's men, and this year, alongside Newcastle, were one of the standout teams in the league.
So much different from last year, because obviously there's more confidence in the squads, they know what they're dealing with. You see, it comes across to us as fans as well, I think. We feel like we can do it.
But this year, once we got the bit between the teeth, it started a bit slower, but once we got the bit between our teeth, this year everyone was like we learned from last year. I think having come so close last year, I think just gave everyone that spirit, and we don't roll over in the last 10 minutes, and we don't give up.
And 20 years after nearly dropping out of the Football League, on April the 17th, they beat Wigan to return to the top flight. A bit more special is that 2 key players are actually from Brighton, and that's Lewis Dunk and Solly March.
I think you've seen the videos of Dunk celebrating. He's been celebrating the night before last as well, so it's huge. And I think Solly March to score the goal that sent us up really was massive. So you see Solly March scoring, you see Lewis Dunk in the team of the year now this season. Probably the best centre back in the league in my opinion. They're going to grow even bigger, and maybe, hopefully, England call it up next season, we don't know. But
of course they were also helped by other players, most notably the Championship Player of the Year, Anthony Knockaert.
I mean, he's definitely been our best player, but I think he's been as important as Bruno, as Stockdale, as Murray. I think those four are there are four pivotal players. In the midfield, when he starts doing those little runs in the midfield, you know something exciting is going to happen, and quite possibly something good will happen at the end of that.
I think he is the best player in the squad, technically. The best player we've probably had this season is Lewis Dunk. I think he's been outstanding. But Knockaert brings that X factor. He is quality. In the Premier League, he didn't quite make it with Leicester. So you're hoping this time round he has something to prove.
And there seems to be a real togetherness within this squad, which was best shown after the tragic passing of Anthony Knockaert's father, which saw 10 members of the first team squad travel to France for the funeral. And the players and fans have a really strong bond as well, which is best shown with those videos of the celebrations after promotion was clinched on the trains and in the streets of Brighton, where fans and players alike celebrated together, something that you simply do not see at other clubs.
That's what makes it different from other clubs, I think. And I think that's why I think we're going to do so well next season, or better than most, because I feel like they want to do it for us, not just themselves. You know, you saw Sam Bulldog, Yuri Skalak on the train, it's so surreal. You don't see that at Chelsea or at Man City, Middlesbrough last season. It's, you know, they want to do it for us, and they want to prove a point for themselves as well. So it's really good to see.
And the even more impressive thing about Brighton's promotion is that they've been Premier League ready since the move to the Amex. It's a 30,000 seater stadium, and they also have a state-of-the-art training facility over in Lancing. And being the only professional club for miles around means that the club can only get bigger and bigger, and with a potential fan base of over 1 million fans in the southeast, the promotion could mean more and more people get interested in the game, and could also be the catalyst for Brighton finally establishing themselves in the Premier League.
If we can get more kids into football through this, Brighton, then that's better for us as a club in the long term, because we're going to get more players coming through, hopefully, and better quality. So that's, you know, that's important for us.
Best case scenario, I would say we end up like Stoke. Always just above the relegation, but never too scared. I don't think we're going to be one of the yo-yo ones that go up and down. I hope we would just like to be a permanent fixture, just to have one foot in, feel like we've got a foot in the door. But for now, just to stay up. Just to stay up first season will be a triumph. I'll be dancing around the garden like I was for getting promoted if we could stay up.
So, come August, Brighton will be playing their first top flight game in 34 years, and it'll be a very emotional one for those who were there since the Goldstone days back in the 80s and 90s, to those like myself who have known nothing but Brighton losing at home to Crewe Alexandra and Colchester at the Withdean. It'll be a real amazing atmosphere at the Amex on the first day of the Premier League season. One that whether we get spanked or whether we win will be one that people won't forget for a very long time. And no matter how the season goes, they've made the city proud.